Okay, so welcome to Genja. I'll just walk you through the Genja Demo, the app, on kind of the purpose, how to use it, the settings, and just the process behind it. So first of all, it's just a software as a service platform, allowing you to automate the build of Juniper switches. It makes it user friendly, adding a front page to it or a GUI interface to it. So it just makes it easier and seamless to build a switch within minutes. Let's start. So first of all, the first page, you select the switch role. You can use an access, distro, or core. It later on down the line, it will have some effect on basically the output, the final result. So for instance, if you select an access switch, you pretty much get the full suite of switches available. So if we go back and say we select core, it's now reduced to just the two switches because the EX2300s, unless it's a very small site, you wouldn't really want to run a core on that because of the power and just the use process, unless it's I don't know, a Soho office or something like that. So if we go back, we'll just use access switch for now. At the moment, as it's a demo, the output will be the same regardless of what you do. Here you can select your model and basically if you want a module installed. So if you select a EX2300, doesn't have an option of a module installed, it's already got a built-in module for your uplinks. So we'll just go with an EX4300 32F, install the module, there's a module name. Next, it's just a naming convention. So say you have your own kind of standards, you can put this in. So I've limited it and it puts in any restrictions. So it requires 11 characters in a specific format. So say for instance, I do it wrong. So there's the 11 characters, hit check, so it doesn't meet the standard. So as we can see below, so I've already given it a site code. So switch role, access switch, distro, these are the short codes, or core switch, dependent on kind of your naming conventions. So I'll say it as that, and then your role ID. Here you select a number of FPCs, those familiar with Juniper. I'll go with 2 just to show the different kind of features later on down the line. So basically, because I've selected 2, it makes it a virtual chassis as well. So now it should pass the test and you're on to the next page. So at the moment, VLAN name is blank because you have to select your VLAN type. Once you select your VLAN type, it populates down below, building the VLANs available. So for each VLAN type, it's going to be each VLAN is going to be unique regardless. So if I chose IT VLAN, it's in the VLAN ID is unique. There's no conflicts or anything like that. So here you select your FPC. FPC is basically your switch, your physical switch. The PIC we'll leave at 0 so that it's on the main and not the module that we've installed. Here is filtered down 0 or 2 due to it being an EX4300 32F. And then we can select our start to end ports that we want to set as user ports. So I've done 0 to 10. I'll leave the step empty, so it will just set each one consecutively. And then if I'll test out on FPC 1. So as you see there, it's done 0 to 10. On FPC 1, where your FPC is labeled there, and I set step 2. So rather than 1, what's going to happen is every other port is going to be set 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. if you have some standards in your cabling or something like that. If I hit set again, it's saying it's duplicated, so it won't set. If there was a unique port, it would have set it. So say for instance I do to 12, it will put in that additional port. If I hit delete, it deletes everything. So we reset it, hit next, takes us to the uplink. Here you select your VLANs. They are not highlighted, so if you didn't want to trunk all of them, you'll just select the one. If you press Control, you can select both or all as required. And here you can have a trunk or an AE port. Because we've got 2 FP or 2 switches in a virtual chassis, we want some resilience. So we select an AE. Local AE is 0, remote AE we'll set to 10. And then the local FPC is from 0. The PIC slot we'll use for Uplink, we'll use the installed module, so that's 2, and we'll leave the port at 0. And then our Uplink is distro switch, role ID 3, remote port will be 0 on that switch, so we'll leave everything as is here. So we set distro, so what this is doing is enabling you to automatically label the port, the uplink port, on this local switch. So if you hit set, sets the port, trunks it, and all the other configuration is automated in the background. So to set a second port within that aggregate, which is the AE, you change the FPC, because if you try to set it again, it will realize, hold on a second, I'm already using this port, it's a duplicate. Not the same for the remote. So if we hit that again, now it should set, and now we have 2 ports with resilience trunking up. Hit next, and then there's the final stage where you just put in your SNMP location details. So you build in, we'll say HQ, floor 10, room, IT room, and then rack, call it rack 2. And then, so basically here, this is just filling in, populating all the other fields. So to save you retyping every time, if everything's in the same rack, same room, it just fills it all in for you. And then during the output of the configuration, it uses these 2. So these are what's filling in the last 2. So we'll leave the first one, rack 1, is 1, U position 1, and then this other one, we'll put in U position 2 for FPC 1, and then you hit set. If it's all good, sets the configuration, and now you just click through to get your configuration. And that's it. So now you have the automated output of your configuration. It sets all the ports, it shuts down any unused ports on both the built-in ports and the module that you installed here, on both switches. So when you select the module, it basically anticipates that you're installing a module in both switches or in all switches. So now you can download your configuration, save the file. So we'll just open it, and it just opens it in a notepad. Same output as what you've just seen on the screen now, and that's it. And if you want to go back to the start, so here's the time taken. It's taken 8 minutes, just based due to it being a guided tour. And yeah, if you want to build your next switch, you just click next switch, and it takes you right back to the beginning, and you can continue again building switches. Right. Thanks for listening. I hope that's informative enough for you. This is on a desktop. The mobile renders slightly different. If you're using a mobile, you got to use it in landscape mode, I've noticed, because the last few pages doesn't render so well. So that's it. Thank you.